Looks like he's gone for good this time. But I don't think we should stick around to see if he comes back. Closest town from here is Riverwood. My uncle's the blacksmith there. I'm sure he'd help you out. It's probably best if we split up. Good luck. I wouldn't have made it without your help today.
You know, on second thought, maybe it would be safer if we did stick together. At least until we reach Riverwood.
Listen, you should go to Solitude and join up with the Imperial Legion. We could really use someone like you. And if the rebels have themselves a dragon, General Tullius is the only one who can stop them. See that ruin up there? Bleak Falls Barrow. When I was a boy, that place always used to give me nightmares. Draugr creeping down the mountain to climb through my window at night. That kind of thing. I admit, I still don't much like the look of it. These are the Guardian Stones. 3 of the 13 ancient standing stones that dot Skyrim's landscape. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, you've already earned your palm. But until we get that confirmed by General Tullius, just stay clear of other Imperial soldiers and avoid any complications, all right? Who's there? I hope that dragon isn't still flying around there somewhere.
Who were those other prisoners?
You didn't know? That was Ulfric Stormcloak and his top lieutenants.
I don't pay much attention to current events.
Oh, right. You were caught trying to cross the border into Skyrim, weren't you? You're not kidding. Ulfric's the leader of the Stormcloaks. You know, the traitors trying to break Skyrim away from the Empire.
Who are the Stormcloaks?
You haven't heard of the Civil War in Skyrim? I guess down in Cyrodiil, people have other things to worry about. It's pretty simple. Ulfric founded the Stormcloaks years ago, as a sort of private army to advance his ambitions. He's always used the ban on the worship of Talos to stir people up against the Empire. He never succeeded in getting much support. So a few months ago, he murdered the High King. That got the Empire's attention.
How did you capture Ulfric?
A masterstroke by General Tullius. He's only been in charge here for a few months, but he's turned things around for the Empire. We've been trying to catch Ulfric since the war started, but he always seemed to slip through our fingers, like he knew we were coming. This time, the General turned the tables on him. Ulfric rode right into our ambush with only a few bodyguards. He surrendered pretty meekly too. So much for his death or glory reputation. I thought we were taking Ulfric back to Cyrodiil, but I guess the General changed his mind. You know the rest.
Why is the worship of Talos banned?
I guess that wasn't such a big deal elsewhere in the Empire. But here it's caused a lot of resentment. Native son and all that. Even I'll admit it hasn't been the Empire's finest hour. But it wasn't like the Emperor had any choice, did he? If he hadn't signed a peace treaty with the Thalmor, they would have destroyed the Empire. And where would Skyrim be? That's the part that Ulfric's supporters always conveniently forget about. Unless the Empire stands together, the Thalmor would destroy us all.
I thought dragons were all dead long ago.
So did I. If the damn Stormcloak somehow found one, or woke it up, the war might be about to take an ugly turn. Hard to believe it was just a coincidence, that the first dragon anyone's seen for centuries attacks just as Ulfric was about to be executed. We'd better keep moving. I feel like that dragon might be up there watching us right now. I'm glad you decided to come with me. We're almost to Riverwood. Things look quiet enough here. Come on, there's my uncle. Uncle Halvor, hello.
Hadvar, what are you doing here? Are you on leave from shores, boats? What happened to you, boy? Are you in some kind of trouble?
Keep your voice down. I'm fine, but we should go inside to talk.
What's going on? And who's this?
He's a friend. Saved my life, in fact. Come on, I'll explain everything, but we need to go inside.
Okay, come inside then. Sigrid will get you something to eat, and you can tell me all about it.
A dragon! I saw a dragon!
What? What is it now, Mother?
It was as big as the mountain and black as night. It flew right over the barrel.
Dragons now, is it? If you keep on like this, no one in town will do things. And I've got better things to do with this than more of your promises.
It was a dragon. It'll kill us all if they don't believe me.
Sigrid, we have company.
Hadvar, we've been so worried about you. Come, you two must be hungry. Sit down and I'll get you something to eat.
Now then, boy, what's the big mystery? What are you doing here looking like you lost an argument with a cave bear?
I don't know where to start. You know I was assigned to General Tullius' guard. We were stopped in Helgen when we were attacked by a dragon.
A dragon? That's ridiculous. You aren't drunk, are you, boy?
Husband, let him tell his story.
Not much more to tell. This dragon flew over and just wrecked the whole place. Mass confusion. I don't know if anyone else got out alive. I doubt I'd made it out myself if not for my friend here. I need to get back to Solitude and let them know what's happened. I thought you could help us out. Food, supplies, a place to stay.
Of course. Any friend of Hadvar's is a friend of mine. I'm glad to help however I can. Like I said, I'm glad to help in any way I can. But I need your help. We need your help. The Jarl needs to know if there's a dragon on the loose. Riverwood is defenseless. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun to send whatever soldiers he can. If you'll do that for me, I'll be in your debt.
How do I get to Whiterun from here?
Cross the river and then head north. You'll see it just past the falls. When you get to Whiterun, just keep going up. When you get to the top of the hill, you're at Dragon's Reach, the Jarl's palace.
What can you tell me about the Jarl?
Jarl Balgruuf. He rules Whiterun Hold. A good man, perhaps a bit overcautious, but these are dangerous times. So far, he's managed to stay out of the war. I'm afraid it can't last, though.
Which side in the war does he favor?
I don't think he likes either Ulfric or Elisif much. Who can blame him? But I've no doubt he'll prove loyal to the Empire in the end. He's no traitor.
Who's Elisif?
Ah, I forget you're new to Skyrim. Jarl Elisif, I should say. Although only because she was married to Jarl Torygg when he was murdered. Ulfric murdered Torygg, you know. Walked right into his palace in Solitude and killed him. Shouted him to death, if you believe the stories. That's what started this whole war. The Empire couldn't ignore that. Once the Jarls start killing each other, we're back to the bad old days.
What can you tell me about Riverwood?
Gerder's family first settled here as woodcutters a few generations ago. She and Hod run the mill. I make a decent living sharpening axes and fixing the sawmill.
What sorts of things do you make?
Whatever you need. Buy Ysmir if it's simple and strong. I can forge it. I could forge you a warhammer that would crush a giant's head like a walnut. Whether it's armor you need or a new blade, come see me.
Why are the Thalmor allowed to arrest people for worshipping Talos?
It's from that treaty that ended the Great War, remember? When the Emperor was forced by the Thalmor to outlaw Talos worship. We didn't pay much attention to it when I was a boy. Everyone still had their little shrine to Talos. But then, Ulfric and his sons of Skyrim started agitating about it. And sure enough, the Emperor had to crack down, dragging people off in the middle of the night. One of the main causes of this war, if you ask me. Take what you need, my friend. Within reason, of course.
Hadvar,
All
did
right,
you really
then.
see a dragon? What did it look like? Did it have big teeth?
Hush.
Well, I'd
Don't
better
pester
get
your
back to
cousin.
work. You two make yourselves at home.
You lost.
You work the Riverwood garden?
That's right. I've been growing some really lovely vegetables. You know, I was thinking of expanding the herb garden. Make room for some new plants I'm planning. Maybe I'll do turnips next. Or maybe radishes?
Rutabaga?
It don't matter what I grow. My Alvar, he'll eat anything. All right, then.
What have you got for sale?
Take a look.
You'll get some time at the forge, I promise. But not right now. You need to keep watching news. Burn.
Don't worry, I am.
All right then. This will be frustrating. Let's go. No one bests an orc.
You don't stand a chance against me.
Not a chance. That would be... Someone's gonna get hurt. You
Fool, I'll have your blood.
I'll kill you.
Let's see what you can do next. Too late to run away now. You'll be so much easier to rob when you're dead. I'm gonna add your skull to my collection.
Leave here alive! You won't get the best of me! Just give up!
A little pipsqueak like you thinks they can take me on? I'm surprised you've lasted this long. Hurry up and die. Come on, come on! I've been waiting too long for this. Come on! I'm gonna twist that pretty little neck of yours clean off!
Nice armor you've got. It'll be mine when I'm done with you.
Die already so I can take your stuff! It's nothing! That's your best, huh? No! Ah, bastard! You wanted the best of me! I'll bury you!
Yeah, you should be scared. You'll need to do better than that.
You won't leave here alive!
There you are. Can't hide from me. Fool, I'll have your blood. That it? At your best? That's it? That's all you've got? You call yourself a Nord? Easgrimor would be ashamed of you. Think you're tough? You don't stand a chance against me. Oh! Ah!
Orgnar. Orgnar, are you
Come on
listening?
in. Just stoke
Hard
the fire.
not to.
Take a seat and get the
The ale
cold
is
out.
going bad. We need to get a new batch. Did you hear me?
Yep, ale's going bad.
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears after all. Just make sure we get a fresh batch in soon.
Can I get you something?
A pint of your finest mead.
Here,
Certainly.
take a look at this.
Have you heard any rumors?
Lucan at the Riverwood trader had his store broken into the other night. Oddly enough, barely anything's been stolen. Of course. I understand.
Welcome. Let me know if you want.
quiet day.
attacked.
Watch what you're doing.
God, another fight.
I'm gonna kill you. You're good as dead. Easily. I'm gonna crush you like a bug. Son of a...
Mind if I join you on your hunt? I've been practicing my archery skills, and I could use some guidance from someone like you.
You want to come hunting with me? It takes more than just shooting arrows, you know.
I know. I've been studying your techniques, and I can't wait to put them into practice. Plus, spending time together would be nice.
All right, I'll give you a chance. But remember, hunting is about survival and respect for nature.
So see you tomorrow morning, then?
You handle yourself well. You could make for a decent shield, brother. We are. This giant was bothering the farmers in the area, so we took care of it.
Can I join you?
Not for me to say. You'll have to talk to Kodlak Whitemane up in Jorvaskar. The old man's got a good sense for people. He can look in your eyes and tell your worth. If you go to him, good luck. Yes?
The roads of Skyrim lead to many dangers.
What have you got for sale?
Take a look.
city there for the taking.
May your road lead you to warm sands.
Halt! City's closed with the dragons about. Official business only.
Riverwood calls for the Jarl's aid.
Riverwood's in danger too. You better go on in. You'll find the Jarl in Dragon's Reach, at the top of the hill.
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords for the Imperial soldiers.
I just can't fill an order that size on my own. Why don't you swallow that stubborn pride of yours and ask Yorland Greymane to help?
I'd sooner bend my knee to Ulfric's Stormcloak. Besides, Greymane would never make steel for the Legion.
Have it your way. I'll take the job, but don't expect a miracle. Can I help you?
What can you tell me about Whiterun?
Plenty. I'd say we're prosperous enough. Most folk don't go hungry, if they're willing to work hard. The city's ruled by the Jarl up in Dragon's Reach. That's the fortress there, up on the tall hill. But you're probably more interested in Jorrvaskr, Mead Hall of the Companions. Their deeds of war and valor are legendary.
Tell me about your family.
Well, my husband, Ulfberg, will be inside. If I wasn't married to him, I'd be out of business. And then there's my father. He's the steward up at Dragon's Reach. I help my father in more ways than people realize.
What do you mean?
You think all the counsel my father provides the Jarl is his alone? Huh. Let's just say I advise the advisor, and leave it at that.
Do you work the forge all day?
Aye, that I do. I've got to, if I hope to be as good as Yorland Greymane someday. In fact, I just finished my best piece of work. It's a sword. I made it for the Jarl, Balgruf the Greater. It's a surprise. I don't even know if he'll accept it, but... Listen, could you take the sword to my father, Proventus Avenici? He's the Jarl's steward. He'll know the right time to present it to him.
I'll do it.
Thanks. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
That was just lying around? Good find.
Your grace and benevolence, may we truly reach enlightenment. We are but maggots, writhing in the filth of our own corruption, while you have ascended from the dung of mortality, and now walk among the stars. But you were once man. Aye. And as man you said, "Let me show you the power of Talos Storm Crown, born of the North, where my bread is long winter." You have come. You have come to hear the word of Talos.
Why was Talos worship outlawed?
Because the so-called Emperor is a coward. That's right, I said coward! Oh yes, he agreed to banish the worship of Talos at the tip of an Aldmeri sword. They called it the White Gold Concordant. Well, I call it blasphemy. A true son of the Empire would never have turned his back on our greatest hero. Not at any price. Well, let me tell you something, friend. Cyrodiil is a long way from here. In Skyrim, we will never forsake mighty Talos.
Aren't you worried you'll be arrested?
Let them come. I have no fear, for Talos is my ally, and I am his prophet. His word is upon my lips, his voice in my throat.
May I receive the blessing of Talos?
I'd be happy to grant you the greatest honor that's within my power to grant. May Talos preserve you. May Talos bless your days. May Talos shield you from all harm. I breathe now in royalty and reshape this land which is mine. I do this for you, Red Legion, for I love you. I love.
Yes?
Well, hello. Take care now.
Need something? Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
What have you got for sale?
Take a look. Until next time.
That was just lying around? Good find.
Need something? Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Maybe you can help me.
What do you need?
It's all in this note. Get going then. Not too shabby. Apprentice level work, but solid. Keep at it. You're new here. I don't trust the new. You've done well. Thank you. Here, this is for you. Be seeing you.
This land, which is mine.
I know your family's honor is important to you, but we can't afford it.
It took me weeks to find that thieves' den. I can't stop now, and I can't get the sword on my own.
So you're willing to starve your wife and daughter to reclaim some rusty old sword?
I just need to hire one, maybe two good men. You won't starve.
I'll put it plainly. You can claim your sword, or you can keep your wife. If you set foot outside that gate, I won't be here when you return.
Saphir! Wait, Hello, friend.
What were you two arguing about?
My Saphir doesn't like that I've been spending so much time looking for my father's old sword. He fed his entire family with the gold he made using that weapon. I'm not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy room. I tracked it to a group of bandits nearby, but I'm no fool. I'd need the Whiterun guards or maybe hire the companions to get it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels, I'd be grateful to you. All right, then.
Balahorn, give me your money. I don't have any money. You better give me 5 seconds right now. I'm gonna bloody you.
No, please. I really don't have any money, Brave. I'll give you 10 seconds tomorrow. Just don't hit me.
10 seconds tomorrow.
Tell me,
Do you believe in mighty Arche, god of life and death?
The god of death? I know him well.
I'm glad to know that, because I need your help. You see, I've lost something precious.
What did you lose?
My amulet of Arche. It's the source of my divine powers and also a sacred badge of office. I misplaced it in the catacombs. I'd look for it, but I have been hearing noises down there. I fear the dead have become restless. Without that amulet, I'm powerless to confront them. Would you be willing to search for it?
I'll find your amulet.
I'll just wait here and make sure nothing foul escapes the catacombs.
Do you get lonely working with the dead?
As Whiterun's priest of Arche, I spread his word whenever I'm able. In the meantime, most of my hours are spent with the city's dearly departed. I spend so much time among the dead, I sometimes forget how much I miss the company of the living. The blessing of Arche be upon you.
Yes? I study corpses. I am, after all, a priestess of Kinnereth. On the contrary, I'm doing independent research on the nature of death. If we can better understand how an injury or illness kills, we'll be more adept at applying a remedy. Although, given the state of the temple, I can see why you'd mistake a healer for an undertaker. I do find humor to flex the more unsavory aspects of handling bodies. For instance, in Eastmarch, there's a priestess of Arche named Helgerd. She was a lot funnier than me. Smarter, too. She could pinpoint the cause of death by studying the corpse's exterior. She could determine the time by markers of decay. Two reasons, really. The Temple of Kinnereth, and the ample supply of bodies. It allows me to conduct my research while still upholding my duties as a priestess. Of course, the corpses here aren't the only specimens worth study. There's also the men. Currently, I'm deducing the nature of poison. It seems that regardless of the substance, the body has a threshold which cannot be surpassed. This can vary depending on the substance. For instance, the toxicity of nightshade is far higher than that of jasbay grapes. A jasbay grape, on the other hand, can leave you susceptible to destruction magic. All things, when consumed in enough quantity, can kill. It is. There's a story, in fact, of a man who drank from a fountain that was rumored to restore youth. An elderly man, he consumed water from dawn until dusk, until his stomach bloated like a gourd. The sun hadn't set when the man collapsed and died. It turns out he succumbed to water poisoning. For him, water was the source of all death.
Go on.
Similarly, as poison is in the dose, mortality is bound to time. A simple cut, if allowed to fester, can be fatal. While some areas are more tolerant than others, preventing death is simply a matter of restoring a wound within that set window. That's why efficiency is crucial in the field. Many deaths happen because there's simply not enough time to find a healer. I've always had a soft spot for sailors and travelers, for whom Kinnereth is the matron. They would often visit the temples and pay homage and tend to their wounds. I marveled at these strange visitors from faraway lands, and the priestess whose touch could bind cuts, soften bruises, and solder bones. But what intrigued me most of all was the concept of pain. It was pain that brought these men to the temple first, and the smart ones anyway. The others came too when the ale failed to cure them. Not one of my best. In any case, the point is this. Injury did not eventuate healing. Pain did. Without it, there's nothing to alert us of danger. And sometimes it acts in neither's best interests. But what fun would that be if it didn't? All right then.
I spend so much time among the dead, I sometimes forget how much I miss the company of the living.
I found your amulet.
Oh, thank RK! Please, take this gold for your troubles. It was a pleasure.
What would you have me do then? Nothing?
My lord, please. This is no time for rash action. I just think
What's the meaning of this interruption? Jarl Balgruuf is not receiving visitors.
Who's this then?
As House Carl, my job is to deal with all dangers that threaten the Jarl or his people. So you have my attention. Now explain yourself.
I was told to give the message directly to the Jarl.
Whatever you have to say to the Jarl, you can say to me.
It's all right,
starting to think...
I want to hear what he has to say. What's this about Riverwood being in danger? Alvor? The smith, isn't he? Reliable, solid fellow. Not prone to flights of fancy. And you're sure Helgen was destroyed by a dragon? This wasn't some Stormcloak raid gone wrong?
I was there. I saw the dragon burn Helgen to the ground.
By Ysmir, Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. If that dragon is lurking in the mountains...
The Jarl of Falkreath will view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
Enough! I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done.
done
You
us a
sought
great
me out
service.
on your own initiative.
Here's your reward.
You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons.
But I don't want to be. I want to get right now. Promise, promise. All you ever do is complain about what you want. You're spoiled, baby. I'm going to tell Father you said that. He'll tan your hide with dirt.
Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there.
What does this have to do with dragons?
Ah, no mere brute mercenary, but a thinker. Perhaps even a scholar? You see, when the stories of dragons began to circulate, many dismissed them as mere fantasies, rumors, impossibilities. One sure mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience as being impossible. But I began to search for information about dragons. Where had they gone all those years ago? And where were they coming from?
So what do you need me to do?
I, learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself.
Anything you can tell me about Bleak Falls Barrow?
An old tomb, built by the ancient Nords, perhaps dating back to the Dragon War itself. Ah, maybe you just want to know how to get there. It's near Riverwood, a miserable little village a few miles south of here. I'm sure some of the locals can point you in the right direction once you get there.
How do you know this stone tablet is in Bleak Falls Barrow?
Well, must preserve some professional secrets, mustn't we? I have my sources. Reliable sources.
What have you got for sale?
Take a look.
Are you the only wizard in Whiterun?
I believe I am, yes. Technically speaking, of course. The city is also home to a priest, priestess, an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia. She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense.
I'll deliver the frost salts for you.
Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task. You know,
This
if you've
is a
got the
priority
aptitude,
now.
you should join
Anything
the
we
Mages
can use
College
to
in
fight this
Winterhold.
dragon, or dragons.
You won't get away with
Need
that.
it quickly, before it's too late.
Of course, Jarl Balgroof. You seem to have found me an able assistant. I'm sure he will prove most useful.
Succeed at this, and you'll be rewarded. Whiterun will be in your debt.
I serve Jarl Balgruuf as steward.
I have a sword for you from your daughter.
From Adrian? Ah, this must be that weapon for the Jarl. Poor girl. So eager to prove herself. I'll present it to Balgruuf when his mood is agreeable. Thank you. Please, take these few coins for services rendered. Enjoy your visit to Dragon's Reach.
With man? Ha! They can barely tolerate our presence on Earth!
Helgen, destroyed by a dragon. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Who the hell?
Got a pretty good stock of potions and alchemy reagents. Welcome to my alchemy shop, Arcadia's Cauldron. Hold on. Oh dear, your skin's as pale as the snow. How do you feel?
Why, do I look ill?
I think you might be sick. Could be ataxia. It's quite a problem back home in Cyrodiil. Don't worry. I offer remedies for ailments both common and rare, and I'll be happy to serve you.
So you're a healer?
Of a sort. I don't have formal training in the restoration school, but something just as good. Within these walls, I have all that I need to brew a potion for nearly any ailment. If I had a septum for every case of rock joint or whitbane I've cured since I opened this shop, I'd be a rich woman indeed.
I have some frost salts for you from Farengar.
Ah, splendid, splendid. It's for a special brew I'm working on. A love elixir like none other. Maybe I'll test it on Farengar first. Oh, but I suppose you expect some compensation. Here. These potions should suffice.
What have you got for sale?
Got a pretty full stock of potions and alchemy reagents. Be careful out there.
finally agreed to send you back to Riverwood.
Yes, House. We need a meeting.
This horse against the dragon? Got it? I can't afford to send anyone else. And we don't know where the dragon is. Your main job will be to keep an eye out and get the people to safety if the town is attacked. I don't expect the three of you to fight off the dragon by yourselves, but I do expect you to do your duty.
Of course. We'll keep Riverwood safe. You can count on it. Let's move out. Time's a wasting.
Excuse me, sir. I don't normally do this, but, have you got a moment to talk?
Of course.
Marvelous. My name is Lucian Flavius. I'm a scientist, philosopher, amateur wizard, and something of a musician, though I suppose that's more of a hobby. I couldn't help noticing that you seem... how can I put this? Well acquainted with the less savory side of Skyrim?
I've seen a thing or two. Do you need help with something?
As a matter of fact, I do. I'm here in Skyrim on an expedition, academic mainly. I find the province simply fascinating. The flora, the fauna, the ruins, both Dwemer and Nordic, the architecture, the politics. Trouble is, I'm really not much of a fighter. I know a few spells and can just about swing a sword, but beyond that, I'm pretty useless in combat. Skyrim's no place for a milk drinker like me. Not on my own, anyway. So, I'm looking for someone to travel with.
Go on.
I suppose what I'm asking is, would you awfully mind if I tag along? I will of course compensate you most handsomely for putting up with me.
How much are we talking?
Oh, shall we say 300 septims up front? After that, I'll top you up every time we come across something useful to my research. At your discretion, of course. No obligations, save that you take me with you, and assist in keeping me alive wherever possible.
Sounds like a deal.
Oh, splendid. Here's your gold. This is going to be quite the adventure. It's a pleasure to meet you. Lead on.
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell. All right then. Need a room? Talk to Delphine. Mm-hmm.
You're that visitor been poking around.
I'd like to rent a room.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day.
Well, one of us has to do something.
I said no. No adventures, no theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that.
Maybe you could talk some sense into my pig-headed brother. Sure thing. It's always good to have someone to talk to.
Where did you come from?
My brother and I came from the city of Skingrad originally, where our family used to own a lucrative business. Sadly, my parents passed away a few years after I was born, so my brother Lucan has been the only family I've really known. Well, we have our fights, as do any siblings, but we both know we're all each other's got. Some burglars came into the shop and tried to steal our heirloom. My parents did their best to protect it, but they weren't fighters. I'm not sure if it was pity, or simply that they didn't want to wait around and find out, but they didn't bother to come get Lucan and I.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, they died when I was just 4, so I don't have much memory of them anyway. Still, I often wonder what it's like to have parents who nurture you. Maybe our lives would have been completely different. My brother Lucan, of course. He never expected to inherit the business at such a young age. Much less so that he'd have to play father for his little sister. But here I am, all grown up and healthy. So all things considered, he wasn't half bad as a guardian. Well, after the Great War, the Empire could barely pay for the palace guards. The City Watch's resources were stretched thin, so crimes ran rampant. But can you imagine? Skingrad, with burglars who barged into shops in broad daylight, was considered one of the well-off cities in Cyrodiil? It's no wonder so many Imperials like Lucan and I came to Skyrim these few years. I guess he's just afraid. After all, I am all the family he's got. To raise me and manage our parents' business, he missed his best years to start his own family. If anything were to happen to me out there, then he would truly be alone.
Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you overheard, but the Riverwood Trader is still open. Feel free to shop.
What have you got for sale?
Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Did something happen?
Yeah, we did have a bit of a break-in, but we still have plenty to sell. Robbers were only after one thing. An ornament, solid gold in the shape of a dragon's claw.
I could help you get the claw back.
You could? I've got some coin coming in from my last shipment. It's yours if you bring my claw back. Now, if you're going to get those thieves, you should head to Bleak Falls Barrow, northeast of town.
So this is your plan, Lucan?
Yes. So now you don't have to go, do you?
Oh, really? Well, I think your new helper here needs a guide.
No, by the 8, fine.
I suppose it's too much to ask that these bandits will just hand the golden claw over if we ask them nicely.
What was that? Is someone there? I knew it!
Ah!
about that. Somebody help! We have to go through town and across the bridge to get to Bleak Falls Barrow. You can see it from here, though. The mountain just over the building.
Hell, pay for this. This should be good.
Those thieves must be mad hiding out there. Those old crypts are filled with nothing but traps, trolls, and who knows what else. I wonder why they only stole Lucan's golden claw. I mean, we have plenty of things in the shop that are worth just as much coin. Lucan found the claw about a year after he opened the store. He never quite explained where he got it. He's a tricky one. This is the bridge out of town. The path up the mountain to the northwest leads to Bleak Falls Barrow. I guess I should get back to my brother. He'll throw a fit if I take too long. Such a child. Mara bless you for agreeing to help us.
How much farther do I have to walk?
Well, it's a winding road up the mountain just ahead. You'll know you're in the right place once you spot the old watchtower. Once you get to the tower, head north. Bleak Falls Barrow should be just around the corner further up. I envy you. You get to go on adventures again.
Come on. Let's see what you made. Damn!
Give it your best shot.
Writing and looks were just marvelous. How can I help you?
I need to trade some things with you.
Sure, I'll carry what I can. Bye for now.
pipsqueak like you think.
Come on, come on! I've been waiting too long for this.
This one's loot is mine, so back off!
I'm gonna twist that pretty little neck of yours clean off.
are, Bleak Falls Barrow, home of the ancient lords, but more importantly, bandits who seem terribly eager to murder us. What fun!
Greetings.
I need to trade some things with you.
Sure, let's trade.
On we go.
Someone there? Over here!
So, does this feel like home to you? I mean, it was your ancestors who built it, after all. Fascination and fear in equal measure. The hallmark of a good adventure.
Never back down.
But I was just wondering, have you considered not trying to murder me? Ow, ow, ow!
That's all you got. I'll kill you. Ah!
Excuse me.
Someone coming. Is that you, Hotbeam? Bjorn! Dolin! I know I ran ahead too long.
Keep it away from me!
Help me! Help!
Don't panic! I'm sure it's more afraid of us than we are of it. Actually, no, I think I might wet myself.
Help me out of here!
Now cut me down before anything else shows up.
Where's the golden claw?
Yes, the claw. I know how it works. The claw, the markings, the door in the Hall of Stories. I know how they all fit together. Help me down and I'll show you. You won't believe the power the Nords have hidden there.
Fine. Let me see if I can cut you down.
Sweet breath of arcade, thank you. It's coming with. I can feel it. Why should I share the treasure with anyone? What was that?
Greetings.
Let's talk about tactics.
Certainly.
Let's talk about your combat style.
But of course.
Fight as a warrior.
I'll get all up in their face and stab them. I'll try anyway. Let's get moving before we end up permanent residents of this delightful place. Surely, after all these years, these ruins can't still be structurally stable. Sorry, just thinking out loud. expedition to Skyrim, they said. It'll be fun, they said. There won't be any horrible ancient Nordic zombies, they said. Was all that adventuring in Skyrim worth it, Grandpa Lucian? Why, yes, my lad, it was. Didn't get brutally murdered once. Short. Phew, that was quite a battle. Slightly terrifying. Glad we didn't die. And look, you have a fancy rock. Did we win?